Welcome to Things Invest, where we talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As a recording time of 7:36 a.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum trading $3,788, down about 3.45% so far. On the overall crypto market and the equity market are relatively bearish at the moment, right? We are seeing red across the spectrum. And the macro catalyst on what's driving this, as we discussed the prediction came true yesterday that is mainly due to the Omicron fear that is percolating, obviously, on Monday ahead of the press release or the speech that we'll be hearing from Joe Biden tomorrow on Tuesday. And the topic of the speech will be around, obviously, the Omicron, the COVID variants, but in more of a tactical perspective in terms of the latest developments. What are some of the most recent developments that the government has been triangulating or collaborating with the scientists or the medical officials on, tackling head on? And what are some of the procedure with respect to travel bans, et cetera, et cetera. And some of the latest activities that we've seen, I would say on the media front so far, I'm just like scoping the news. I woke up relatively earlier today at 6:15 just to get ahead of things, right? The first one I see is with respect to Moderna. If you look into the stocks in a pre-market perspective, it kind of jumped because there's a lot of research reports and press release saying that the booster that has came out appears to actually works against the Omicron fear or the Omicron affectation among residents in the U.S. So it seems like there are some high efficacies around the booster. So that's something we appreciate. Seems like it's working. And the other one is a postponement with respect to the World Economic Forum, which they postponed it because of the COVID uncertainty, right? It's obviously important to be cautious, to not cultivate more fear and more chances of contamination, right? So that's something that is important. And then the other ones that I see is that's pretty much it. I think the overall collection of news are mainly talking about the Omicron. Basically, the how would you say sell the rumor, buy the news type of affectation, right? So I think if I'm gonna be thinking about how to play this, what's the right tactics going forward? I think we've seen this story last weekend. Remember last weekend we were expecting the FOMC meeting, the blockbuster one, and initially we were having 2 to 3 days of just panic sales, right? I think the panic sales durate from Saturday, Sunday, all the way to Monday, and that subsequently translates into this like downward escalator, downward trend that we were having pain or stomach ulcer every single day just from looking at the charts, right? And then as we got the confirmatory signal, despite the outcome or the conclusion of the meeting was not like the most positive, but at least we're leaning more towards a positive side of the spectrum in terms of like stepping in the right progressive manner, right? We have confirmed the tapering from 120 billion to 30 billion. No interest of hiking interest rate, but three interest rate next year, and then two interest rate the subsequent year, and then two more interest rate the third year after that, right? So we heard some confirmatory signal. I think the market is really just contemplating on what Joe Biden's going to be saying. And again, right, I think Joe Biden, he's going to be diplomatic in terms of the way he's going to be speaking in the public, right? I don't think he wants to drive more fear or trigger more sell off in the market because he's a leader of the of US, right? So I don't think he's going to be saying anything crazy, but we've seen him say some questionable remarks in the past. Obviously stem from media affectation, spinning that out of proportion as well. So we don't know, but I think that's how it's going to play out. I think we might just be freaking out a little bit because we don't know what he's going to be saying, and then subsequently rebound from there. And I think that could be the logical thing. And again, I don't think Joe Biden wants to be looks like the bad guy, right? Saying like more crazy stuff, and people losing confidence in him and then blaming him. I don't think he wants to be in that position, especially before Christmas. That will double like create more of like a double whammy effect, right? People really remember for ruining people's Christmas then, right? I don't think people would want to. I don't think he personally would want something like that, to be in history, if that makes any sense, right? So I think in public relation perspective, if I'm thinking as more of a diplomatic sense, I think that's how it's gonna play out. But I could be totally wrong, right? But that's how it played out last time in the FOMC meeting, right? And then it got washed out because of the Omicron news. So it's kind of like you saw a spike right after the confirmatory signal of the FOMC meeting, and then kind of reversed back down and normalized, which is the reason why you see this green candle from here, right? So let's just dive right into the technicals. With respect to recording time of 7:41 a.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum could trade $3,788, down about 3.5% so far. Right now, the 41 out of 70, so it's normalized. And I think technically, again, right, the bottom is somewhere around like the 3,650, right? Do we see 3,475? I think maybe not. I think the worst is really, I think today or tomorrow, ahead of the conference or whatever the meeting, it's gonna be the worst. I don't see any, worse downsell pressure. Let's just put it that way. I think 3,475 is pretty much a stretch right now, because that was really because of a macro wipeout of leverage, and that rebalanced a lot of things. And right now we are really seeing the true representations of the market dynamics. So I think 3,650 would be a good level to dollar cost average at if that's something that you want to be thinking about incurring risk, right? I think the current level is still a tolerable level to incur risk, 3,475. Just place some there, just in case, right? 3,150, I think that would be a stretch. With respect to Bitcoin, right now is sliding. You could see that we are still sliding off the cliff. Right now, we are hovering around the 46, right? We're basically $200 away. And the next level to either contemplate to would be somewhere around like the 44, right? So at the moment, we're very depleted. So Bitcoin is pretty much at the bottom right now. I don't see us going down any further. I don't see 40 coming. I think that's really, really a big stretch. I think 42 would be pretty much the bottom if we were actually going to go down, but I don't really see that. I think maybe 44 and then bounce off from there. With respect to Dogecoin, anywhere from current level to, again, 15 is still a good bottom. We're basically at the bottom right now for Dogecoin, so it's not terrible if you believe in this long term. Cardano's at 121, anywhere from the current level to like 134 to 120 is still, so right now it's at the, actually a good level to incur risk at. Solana is selling now. Right now we just formed a golden cross, and that's why we leaped up, but we're reversing back down right now because of the overall market drag. Right now, I think anywhere from 155 to 133 to 113 is still a better dip for us. XRP is up about 0.3%. Anywhere from 88 to 78 is still a good level. Right now at the 42, so it's not terrible, not the best either. Polkadot is still selling down. We are basically at the cusp of the bottom, right? We're like 50 cents away from the bottom, or not even like 10 cents away from the bottom. So I think right now it's actually not terrible to incur risk if you believe in Polkadot. Algorand, it's down about 9% right now. We're basically at rock bottom right now. 34 out of 70. So Algorand seems like just like a falling knife, like just falling off the cliff. It has no bottom right now. So this is definitely worrisome. Seems like investors are giving up on this thing. But if you believe in this long term, I think we're basically at the rock bottom with the 34 out of 70, right? Shiba Inu came true. Oh my god, that's so amazing. Seems like the technical really set the truth. We are at the current level of dollar cost average at right now. And right now from current level to 900 is still a good level for us. But right now I think we're relatively depleted. So I think Shiba Inu is a buy right now if you believe in this long term. MagTech, 175 to 143. That's a good level. 81 to 60 if for MagTech is still a good level to buy. And respect to risk management level, these are levels that we have identified here. I think, with respect to Joe Biden's speech tomorrow, I think that's how I would think it's gonna play out. But ultimately, I'm not a wizard, right? I think despite how good I am with technicals, it's just me speaking the technicals. I'm just a translator, right? Just think of me as I read news and I translate charts and numbers. But can I predict what he's gonna be saying? I don't know, right? I think some of the thing he says has been questionable sometimes, right? And ultimately, he has a speechwriter. He has a bunch of people behind him to support his public relations strategy. So we don't know how truthful that is. Despite obviously he has high integrity to be a U.S. president, to be speaking on behalf of the country, but I don't know really, right? We could be, I think today might be a volatile day. But as we get the confirmatory signal, typically it should rebound from there, like similar to the last Monday and Tuesday, how that affected the market, right? So stay strong. Just don't go crazy. Just don't panic. There's no need to panic because if you hold for a long term and get through this roller coaster ride, you'll be fine. You just like getting the reps and getting the practice in, so you could build your muscles and get the high tolerance in, right? Appreciate you and happy Monday again. And stay tuned to come up. Take care.